Typing tempo. So the last typing game we played, I actually really enjoyed. It was like you were like a chef in a restaurant, and so you weren't just typing to shoot enemies or whatever. You were typing orders of the restaurant. Well, you were just typing random words, obviously, but it was like to make a coffee, you had to type this word. To deliver it to this person, you had to type this word. And so you were not just looking at what you were trying to type, but you were also... Oh, what's going on here? Why is backpack Val still there? Typing tempo, here we go. Is this going to pick it up? Please, please, please. There we go. Yes, it's very small for me as well, don't worry. And so you were kind of also having to take into consideration, this is very loud, take into consideration the order that people want and the preference of them, right? So the order that they came into the restaurant, and you're trying to keep up more people coming in. People are sitting down. You've got to take their order. You've got to go get their order. You've got to deliver it back to them. Then you've got to have them pay. And there's rats coming into the restaurant you've got to kill. And then there's, you know, there's all sorts. You've got to refill the coffee machine and things like that. And so you were typing, but you were like doing something with the typing. It wasn't just type the closest word to you, you know, like something like Typing of the Dead. It was a game on top of the typing, which I really liked. It is very small. We're gonna put in a profile select. We're just gonna V. We're gonna be Vincent now. Enter. And we're gonna be, oh my god. Dogsy looks pretty cool, man, but Robbie. Has to be Robbie. All good. I know it's small. I'm gonna try and get to the settings. Give me a sec. Windowed. First VSync off. Full screen borderless. Did that work for you guys? It did not. Instead, do that. All right. Free play practice mode. We got a free play. Hey, is this a rhythm game? What the hell? Dive. Words per minute 12. So these are all some 3. That's a slow one, I guess. Is 12 really fast? Tea break sounds awesome. And it has like the little... It looks like someone from K-On! The anime. Oh, you can choose... Ooh. We're gonna start on 19 and see how we do. I'm a very slow typer, I'll have you know. I'm not slow, but I'm not a touch typer, is what I mean. So I look down at my keyboard and stuff often. You'll notice that a lot. Like, I did really well on that other typing game, and I get used to it eventually. You see, if I'm not looking, sometimes I miss keys. I don't know, I never learned to type properly. We've just as a kid, but I've been typing since I was a kid. And so I'm fast when I'm just typing normal words. I don't know about this. It just makes the typing game worse and the rhythm game worse. Because I don't know. Miss. I don't know when to let that go. The visuals aren't great, to be honest, for the for a rhythm game. it's hard to tell when you need to click and when you need to let go. I don't know. I can kind of already tell this isn't for me. I feel like, yeah, I feel like it does typing games and Injustice, and it simultaneously does rhythm games and Injustice. But rhythm games should be really, like, crazy. The music should be fast and fun, and you know what you've got to do, but it's the speed and the rhythm at which you've got to do it that's tricky. Whereas this game, it has to be a little slower because you're just typing letters. But then also a typing game should be fast and, frantic, and it's not. Because it has to be slower to go with the music. You know what? This one looks like the hardest one of the basics. 57. This is gonna be really fast, but let's see. I need to see what it's like. I'm just gonna be awful at this game because I'm not a touch typer. No. No. GOG. No. No way. That's awful for me, honestly. That's awful. Let's try another song though. They're all very similar sounding songs. Should we just go like... Okay, so the highest is gonna be like 70 WPM or 80. But yeah, these visuals are a little dull as well for a rhythm game, you know? You'll see me look down. Even when I don't need to, I look down. Oh, that were bad. Forward slash, that were hard. Dude, you know the thing is, I'm a programmer. And even... Oh, it's hard to talk and do it, but... Even semicolons, which I use like 4,000 times a script. I shouldn't be talking. I still look down to see where my, my semicolon is every time I use it, even though I use it all the time. And so icons are just challenging. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I just never... If I was just had to type out a letter, I could do it. You know? An entire letter, type it out, whatever, just without looking down, easy. The problem is when they ask for a specific letter, it's like when you're alphabetizing and you're like, I, what comes before I? And you're like, of course you know, are you kidding me? But you're still like, G-H-I, yeah, okay, H-I, you know what I mean? It's like, there's no, it's not like numbers, there's no rhythm to it. There's no like way to calculate that. It's just letters are just in a random order and that's the alphabet and that's just the way it is. And so when you're alphabetizing and that's kind of what it's like when when I do my keyboard. I'm like, I can write words because they're so built into my head, I'm just typing on. But then when they're like, press O, I'm like, dude, I know O is over here somewhere. But when it's out of context and I'm not typing anything and it's just press O out of all of the keys on my keyboard, I can put my fingers on F and J like a touch typer I could go up to I and across to O. Yep, I looked down and I was on O, right? But if you just like got to do it fast, and I'm just kind of like guessing the vicinity, I might sometimes hit I or P or sometimes L, you know what I mean? So when it's just like that, which makes this game really difficult for me, it's a game that I was just never gonna flick with, specifically because I don't type like that. I just never saw the reason about training myself to do so. It's the same thing as like, oh, you need to learn how to write nicely in school, and I was always, my handwriting's just the worst you've ever seen, ever. I guarantee it. And my teacher's like, you need to write nicely, and I'd like do amazing on all of my other tests, and then on my English test, I'd always fail because of handwriting. Not fail, but I'd always get a worse score because it's like, oh, you did really well on your test, but we're taking away 20% of your points because your handwriting is just, you know, illegible. And that used to really annoy me. It would really suck when that would happen. But right, whatever. And then I was like, well, computers are coming and we don't need to write anymore. But then computers came and then it's like, you need to be able to touch type, and you just don't. It's just not a skill anybody needs. I work with computers every day. I have this computer open, I have my laptop open, I have my phone. You don't need to be able to touch type. It just doesn't, it's not necessary. Even if you're taking minutes of a meeting, now there are AI technologies that you can invite to your Zoom meeting that just types up all of the minutes for you. It's crazy. You don't need to touch type. And so I just never learned it. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, but yeah, I will never learn it. I just don't see the value. It's just something I could spend time doing something else. I was never going to click with this game. I kind of don't want to continue playing it. The visuals are very dull for a rhythm game. The gameplay is very dull for a rhythm game. And as a typing game, I feel like it doesn't accomplish what it needs to accomplish as well. Because when you're typing, you're usually typing with context. And this game's just like W, O, R, O, R, O, exclamation mark, 3. And you're just like, well, that's not something you'd ever need to type. And so you're kind of, maybe it is good training. I don't feel like it is, because it's just, you know, you're pinging specific keys out of nowhere. I don't know. Is that how Mavis Beacon teaches you? I don't get it. But I feel like it's not a good place to learn because it's not very interesting or engaging. Dude, rhythm games have got to really pop. They've got to be pop. The music's got to all be different. All of these songs sound exactly the same to me. It's got to be different. It's got to look crazy. It's just got to really suck you in with the visuals and the audio, the audio-visual experience. This one definitely does not. It's very dull to look at, and the music's very repetitive and similar. And then the gameplay side of it, it's a typing game instead of like the rhythm game. So you focus more on the typing than hitting the rhythm, and the visuals there also don't really line up. The bars for when you have to hit and when you have to let go, it can be a little tricky to know when, because it just wasn't designed as a full rhythm game. It's designed as half typing game. So, you know, instead of really focusing on one area and getting it done really well, they've kind of got two areas that are not as good. Or, you know, it's not that they don't work well together, but it's that you haven't done what you need to do to make a rhythm game really good, and you haven't done what you need to do to make a typing game really good. You've got halfway there with each of them, and that's a problem, right? I'm going to give that one a 2, personally, but that might be my own bias as well, because I'm not a fan of that style. Yeah, I think that's a low 2 for me. Let's move on.